Hello, Mithril here once again, getting back to Mag Mammal 2. And I'm trying to stay in a good positive mood, get the energy up. We are going to do this. We are going to finish the final arena. It's gonna be a bit of a thing, though. So let's stock up on E-Tanks. This is, after all, the final challenge in the game, so it's expected to be hard, and it delivers. I've taken a few stabs at this, and it hasn't been going very well. I've practiced some of the more difficult bosses over in the choose-your-own-fight arena there, so hopefully that helps a bit. The true arena, the final challenge. Good luck, you'll need it. Okay, so there are 45 battles in this arena, and these are dev-designed boss fights. Those that occurred over the course of the game, things like the tier bosses, tier X bosses, wily stages, null and void, things like that. So we're starting with Unbeatable Airman, but at the very least, we get to play as Mega Man. As such, we don't have to worry about losing our projectiles or anything, as we did when playing as Mario. Okay, yeah, it doesn't quite work, but you only have to get rid of half of his health to get on to the next phase. Also, just a reminder, there is a challenge in play where I have to do this quote-unquote buster only. There is a caveat to that. We'll talk about it more once it's more applicable. So yeah, overall this is a bit more reasonable, being able to use Mega Man physics rather than Mario. It gets hard to remember what order he fired those in. But there we go. Chimerabot 5. This is the fusion of Sheriff Man and Cyberman, I think. So this one isn't too terribly bad. There's definitely a Chimerabot that worries me more than this. Thank you for firing that way. There we go. No problem. The Scorching Duo. What I've mainly noticed with these two is some of their attacks have some kind of wonky hitboxes. It's mostly those ground fire attacks. And it's mostly during this phase, I find. Basically, the hitboxes are a lot bigger than they look like for those. And it's very easy to get tagged with them when it doesn't feel like you should be. But overall, things are going a bit better here. Wishing Star. I forgot you were part of this, actually. A little bit of Christmas in July. Why not? Overall, it's a pretty easy pattern, I find. just kind of have to get into it a bit. But there we go. Auto bounce. Okay, you're not actually too tricky, but now the caveat with that challenge comes into play. Auto bounce forces you to use special weapons, so the challenge is very specifically worded. It doesn't say you can't use special weapons, it says you can't use special weapon energy. So in fights that require special weapons, they're infinite. So since they're infinite, I'm free to use them. Prepare to see the weapon select screen a lot. Oh, come on. Eat the arrow, it's good for you! Oh, Sakugarne. I do not like when you want me to use Sakugarne. It is super awkward to hit you with. I'd really rather not have to use an E-Tank this early on if I can avoid it. It's gonna be cutting it close, though. But there we go. 1 hit point victory. And yeah, we are definitely fueling up for this one. Mega Man Sprite Game is a fight that I actually kind of forgot about. And it's a really weird one, too. I'm sure this makes a lot more sense if you're more familiar with Mega Man Sprite Game or Sprite Comic or whatever. But I've been told I probably would not enjoy the humor style. I'm willing to believe that. Okay, that didn't go too terribly badly. Vanguard. I don't think Vanguard's attacks really do all that much. They can be tricky to dodge, but I think I'm safe in not tanking up for this. I remember my main issue with Vanguard was just the fact that this was the stage I was trying to do a no damage clear for on the Wily stages, and just the difficulty of dodging some of his attacks made that a bit problematic. But the fight itself usually goes fairly well, at least as far as surviving it goes. So to that end, I'm not too terribly worried. I've never seen that pattern before. Okay, so now it's just dodging the lasers, so let's see if we can actually do that right this time. There we go. Glassman. You are a difficult one. This might involve tanking up out here and popping an E-Tank, honestly. I had a lot of trouble parsing your attacks. And there's the fact that you get 2 health bars. Yeah, there is a lot going on here. It is super easy to get cornered. I was hoping maybe by avoiding shooting his glass shield it would be easier to dodge in the end. Not so much. It's the way it does that kind of back and forth wobble as it goes through the air. I have a lot of trouble with that, actually. There's just so much going on during this fight, it is super easy to get lost along the way. Yep, 1 HP. Not taking any chances. I would have died right there. There we go. That could have gone a lot worse. Ombudsman. This is one of those fights it's easy to underestimate. I've never been good at the timing on that. It's one where I do feel like I'm getting a little bit better against him, but he can still give me some trouble. Chimerabot 3, Neapolitan Man and Quarantine Woman. There are some attacks on this one I just don't know what to do about. That shouldn't have been one of them, that was just me being stupid, really. And again. I didn't realize I had air dash for this. New discoveries are made that actually make this fight a lot easier. Somehow, I never realized that. Batid-nan, which I believe I was told in the comments, stands for Boss that doesn't necessarily have a name. Or as I called it, the Hostess Cupcake with the SCP face. Overall, not a terribly difficult fight. If you're not careful, though, it is easy to get beamed with those. The Durgan said from experience. Like that. And also, if you're not careful, when he comes back up from the bottom of the screen. That too is a distinct possibility. Okay, barely. Coyote Man is one of those that, honestly, I don't remember a lot about how he works. I don't remember that at all. I remember this phase being a problem just from how large the hitboxes are on those explosions. Okay, coming in again. There we go. The moon! I don't remember this one being too terribly bad. And it has music I like, so there's that. I did kind of forget that you had 2 health bars, though. Oh, right, this phase. Just casually dropped a moon on me. There we go. Lord Elawufro. This is one of those fights I had to kind of relearn. Also, for those wondering, nope, you can't hit him while he's floating there. It really looks like you should be able to, but not quite. Overall, this is one of the easier phases to get counterattacks during, but at the same time, it's really easy to get hit during this. Like so. The Ice Wave phase is really bad for getting counterattacks. Oh, of course you'd survive by 1 HP. So I'll just shoot you through the shield. Super Dacon. Some boss fights are easier than others. This one's just a glorified mid-boss. There we go. Buttermouse. It still makes me happy that Nezumi Man got referenced. That will be like an eternal gaming want of mine is an Nezumi Man 2. I'm always so charmed by the music. The die sign. This one I think is fairly simplistic overall. Just be a bit more mindful of spacing than I was there. It's easy to get greedy trying to get charge shots against it. There we go. Mecha Bubble Man. I partially don't remember this fight being that bad, but I also really don't want to risk it. This is one of the better runs I've had going. Okay, we're starting with this. Overall, this is one of those fights that doesn't feel particularly difficult, it's just kind of weird. Though I do have a lot of problems with that particular attack. I'm not entirely sure what to do about that one. Stood a little bit too close to that. Okay, he's almost out. Ronrez. Okay, this is a fairly simple fight. I do kind of wonder if you can break them the same way you could in the original Mag Mammal, but I forget exactly how you do that. The Sevenforce. This would be the fight that I was practicing a lot. Mainly due to the first phase of it, actually. I feel bad popping one of those with half health, but Barbarian Force hits like a truck. If I can get past that, usually the rest isn't too terribly bad. It's usually when he brings out the mace. That hurts a lot. Though the explosives are pretty bad too. Thankfully, you do still get Eddie between phases. Piranha Force, though, is overall pretty pattern-based and easy to deal with for the most part. Just have to kind of remember what you're doing, and I'm forgetting a lot of that. Okay, 2 phases down. Solar Force also isn't too terribly bad. You just kind of have to be ready for when he's going to charge across the screen. And sometimes he can do it earlier or later than you'd really expect him to. I have been tripped up by that sometimes. Okay, 3 down. Falcon Force is more just kind of an endurance thing of waiting until he's in range to attack. But overall it is one of the easier phases. The lasers can kind of trip me up sometimes, though. So next we have Lobster Force. As long as you're paying attention, he's not too terribly bad. Just be ready for some of his attacks. Mainly it's just making sure to hit the bottom when that barrier wall shows up. Next up, Devil Force, which actually I find to be the easiest phase. Because unlike your average Devil boss, he's open for most of it. So now we're down to the last phase, Sakugarne Force, which... it's easy to underestimate this one, I find. More often than not, it's the shield that kind of screws you over here. It's one of those fights where it can be very easy to get cornered. But there we go, Sevenforce is down. Actually one of the cleaner fights I've had with him. Hollow Wily. Nice background layer cameo there. So yes, we actually do fight as Mega Man this time rather than Mario. Makes things a bit easier. And you can get some good damage in on him that way. So yeah, I think if you're really attentive, you can finish him off in just 3 passes. There we go. Future. Pepsi Man, no! I still honestly wonder what a Pepsi Man fight would be like, considering his source game is just a weird runner-type game. This is one of those fights that's difficult just because there's a lot of projectiles to have to deal with. Which is often true of death fights in Castlevania games, too. Not taking any chances, because I know you're not dead after I finish off your health bar. And I would have died there anyway. And there. Wily Core.